Today I'm going to talk just a little bit about Jefferson's legacy and his views on slavery. Thomas Jefferson was once quoted by Kingsburn as being the holy grail of American history. Thomas Jefferson is an icon and he's a legend in American history, but he's also a man with many contradictions and controversies surrounding his legacy. Thomas Jefferson is credited with writing the Constitution, creating many of our fundamental American ideals. The whole purpose of drafting the Constitution in Jefferson's mind was to unify the American identity against the British. According to the Thomas Jefferson Foundation, Jefferson included language about the dangers of slave trade in our original draft of the Constitution, but Congress amended many other things in Jefferson's original draft. The Thomas Jefferson Foundation also talked about Thomas Jefferson and his idea of creating a government that protected the rights of all men. That was fundamental in the process of this American ideal. Jefferson proposed that slavery be improved or even abolished, and later that would be an argument for pro-slavery debaters who said that if you improve slavery, therefore abolishment is not even necessary. Thomas Jefferson was a consistent opponent of slavery, calling it a moral depravity, a hideous blot. He believed that slavery presented the greatest threat to the survival of the new American nation. Jefferson also thought that slavery was contrary to the laws of nature, which decreed that everyone had a right to personal liberty. These views were radical in a world where unfree labor was the norm. As time went on, Thomas Jefferson also thought later that abolishing slavery would also cause more chaos and turmoil in the nation and would cause a major divide in American society. Obviously, he'd be right later. Thomas Jefferson was very intelligent and enjoyed classical European literature and history, and he viewed the world in a natural, logical perspective. Jefferson understood the moral obligation to abolish slavery, and he proceeded to try this in Virginia and even in the original document of the Constitution. The Smithsonian.com summarizes his paradoxical ideology. He's very adamant in abolishing slavery in the 1770s and 1780s, but he eventually went silent in the 1790s and after. And again, here's this original document from the Smithsonian that describes Thomas Jefferson's viewpoint on wanting to abolish or eventually improve upon slavery. Historian David Bryan Davis said that the most remarkable thing about Jefferson's stand on slavery is his immense silence. Jefferson has been immortalized as an icon of Americans' beginning, but he's also, over time, has been understood as a man with many contradictions. I think we need to remember, when studying Thomas Jefferson, that his context and his social setting was a world entrenched in slavery and the profits that controlled the many cultures during this time. I believe Jefferson's convictions on slavery were strong, according to many of his writings, but his loss of motivation to abolish slavery later in life, I think, was mainly fueled by his context, his cultural roots, and his view on race. Racial views during this time were skewed, and many people in the same time period had preconceptions of race because of the context that surrounded them. Analyzing Thomas Jefferson's great contributions and his great pitfalls are crucial in understanding our fundamental American identity. I believe that Thomas Jefferson wanted slavery to be abolished, but could not envision a scenario where there would be no chaos, or there wouldn't be any bloodshed, or all-out war. I think slavery has been around since sin has started, and it's permeated our human race. Many people have had good intentions with standing up against slavery, racial issues, and other violations of human rights in their context. But in the end, we view these as failures because of our eyes and our cultural perspective. We should not only evaluate and analyze these actions of many important figures in history, but it also will help us understand the context that they're operating under. So as historians, we should approach each figure or event in an unbiased research method. In doing so, we should be able to uncover important truths that should help bring about guidance in our current cultural context.